Thank you, sir. Meeting come to order, please. Mike, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Don Crohan.
Present.
Sharon Hatcher.
Present.
Steve Lane.
Present.
Beth Lathers.
Present. Present.
Thank you. Keith McCord.
Present.
Thank you. Brian Ricker. Rhonda Rose.
Present.
Thank you. Eddie Sanders.
Present.
And Chairman Lackey.
Present.
And we do have a quorum, sir.
We have a quorum. Thank you. Joe, announcements?
Chairman Lackey, I'll give those. This is Mike
Okay.
Manners. A couple of announcements. First, item 12 on your agenda has been withdrawn. Also, we do have a couple of staff requests for non-agenda items. There were a couple of subdivisions last month that were approved. The staff report inadvertently interchanged a couple of bond reports. And so these are simply to correct those bond amounts for those particular projects. And so that will require a vote from you all to hear that. And if you vote to hear that, those two items would go at the end of the agenda. I would suggest, though, Mr. Chairman, that the vote on the non-agenda item take place after the motion and the vote to hold the meeting electronically due to COVID.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other announcements?
No, sir.
We need a motion to for holding the virtual meeting due to COVID, please.
This is Commissioner Rose. I make a motion
will now be
to,
recorded.
Commissioner Rose, I make a motion to hold the Planning Commission meeting electronically due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Hatcher, second.
Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike, call the roll.
Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lathers,
Lathers, yes.
Commissioner Decision,
Lucian, yes.
Commissioner McCord.
Yes.
Is Commissioner Richter here? Okay, Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of the minutes of January 14th. Any corrections or changes? Please say so now.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, this is Mike Madison again. We would like for you to address the non-agenda items, and if you're willing to hear that motion to that effect, then a vote would be appreciated.
You want to do that now?
Yes, sir. If that's okay.
That's fine.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, this is Lathers. I move that we hear the non-agenda items specified by the planning director.
Cohen, yes.
Motion made and seconded. Joe, excuse me, Mike, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lathers,
Lathers, yes.
Commissioner Decision,
Lucian, yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Consideration of the minutes. Any changes, corrections?
Chairman Lackey, this is Don Crohan. I move we accept them as written.
Lane, second.
Motion made and seconded. Joe, call the roll, please. I said that again. Mike, please call the roll.
Got it. Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lathers,
Lathers abstain.
Commissioner Decision,
Lucian, yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
yes,
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of the consent agenda. Joe, you doing this? I
Yes,
call
sir.
your name every time. Go ahead.
Very good. Beginning with item 3, Curry Ingram Academy performance bond for wastewater treatment, $90,000. Recommendation, extending current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 4, Hart's Landmark maintenance bond for water, $20,600. Recommendation, extending current amount until July 16th, 2021. Item 5, Lookaway Farms, Section 1, performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $493,000. Recommendation, extending current amount for 1 year. Item 6, Stevens Valley, Section 3, performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $305,000. Recommendation, extending current amount for 1 year. Item 7, Stevens Valley, Section 4, performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $473,000. Recommendation, extending current amount for a period of 1 year. And item 8, Stevens Valley, Section 6, performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control, $948,000. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year.
Thank you, sir. Motion on consent.
Commissioner Lucision,
Move to accept staff's recommendation.
second. Lucision,
Thank you. We have a motion in a second. Mike, prepare to vote. Call the roll. Mike?
I apologize, I didn't realize I was muted. Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
yes,
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Lathers, yes.
Commissioner Lucision,
Lucision, yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
yes,
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Under old business, agenda item 9, non-residential site plan review for Sloan Farm Rural Retreat, non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system on 107.1 acres located off Carl Road in the 9th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Aaron Holmes. The applicant is requesting site plan approval for a proposed non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system in the Rural Preservation 5 zoning district. The proposed system will serve a rural retreat extensive use that is planned for the property. Rural retreat extensive uses are permitted in the RP5 zoning district as a special use, which is reviewed by the Board of Zoning Appeals. The county zoning ordinance requires a site plan for the proposed non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system to be approved before the special use can be reviewed by the BZA. The subject property totals approximately 107 acres and is located on Carl Road, approximately 1 mile south of its intersection with South Hall Road. The proposed non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system, which includes the land application area, treatment facility, and storage pond, will utilize Orenco Advantex AX 100 treatment technology to treat wastewater generated by the proposed rural retreat and the existing house, which will be utilized as part of the rural retreat. No additional lots will be served. The treatment facility is located in the northern corner of the site, approximately 320 feet from the adjoining property. All individual system components meet the specific setback requirements of the zoning ordinance. The Tennessee Public Utility Commission has indicated a certificate of convenience and necessity is not necessary for this use, and a draft state operating permit has been issued by the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. A design development report as well as a detailed soils investigation report were prepared by the applicant and submitted to the county. County's wastewater consultant has reviewed these reports and concluded that all zoning ordinance requirements related to non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal systems have been met. The property contains a number of natural resources, including moderate and steep slopes, hilltops, wetlands, floodplains, and area of woodlands. There are several streams located on the property, and the necessary waterway natural areas have been established for each of the streams. All ordinance standards with regards to natural resource protections have been met. A conceptual layout for a proposed rural retreat for the property has been included as sheet S 9.0 of the site plan packet. This conceptual layout is provided for illustrative purposes only and has not been reviewed for compliance with applicable regulations. It is staff's opinion that the combination of distance and proposed vegetation will serve to adequately screen the treatment system from adjacent properties. A landscaping plan has been submitted and approved. Site plan is in order and staff recommends approval. Prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for the proposed rural retreat extensive use, a zoning certificate must be obtained for the completed treatment and disposal system. Prior to issuance of the zoning certificate, the applicant shall provide the following. Number one, a letter from TDEC indicating that the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system was installed and is functioning. Number two, as-built drawings showing the location of all system components and a sealed certification letter from the design engineer indicating that said system was constructed in accordance with the approved construction plans and specifications. Number three, a letter from the owner/utility provider indicating that it has accepted the said system and is currently operating the same. Number four, posting of a performance bond in the amount of $103,400 for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system as specified by the county's wastewater consultant. Number five, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $6,600 for landscaping improvements. And number six, execution of performance agreements for the above referenced sureties.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? Comments?
Aaron, this is Commissioner Rose. This is Rhonda. Do we know what the retreat is actually going to be, what it's used for?
It will be
Just
used for, I'm sorry, Commissioner. It will
I'm
be,
just curious.
as I understand it, it will be used for weddings, corporate events, and other events such as that.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Other questions?
Mr. Chairman, this is Don Crohan. I have a question for staff. Here again, we have this quite a bit, and why the pond is on a property line rather than the center of the area of the retreat.
Lloyd, could you zoom in on the pond for us, please? Commissioner Crohan, I will leave that to the applicant, who should be on the call with us, to answer why it was placed there. But it does meet the requirements of the zoning ordinance.
Is the applicant online with us? I don't think they are, Aaron.
I
Well,
do not think.
That's all right, Mr. Chairman. The only reason I bring up this question, it comes up quite often that subdivisions and that we have, if we could try not to put it on the property lines, just a suggestion for staff we brought up before, and I wish they would look at that. Thank you.
That's a principal call, not in my backyard.
I understand.
Any other questions? I hear none.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to say that I also agree with Commissioner Crohan, and I think that would be good, something for us to look at. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept staff's recommendation.
Need a second?
Chairman Rose, second.
Motion made and second. Prepare to vote. Mike, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Lathers, yes.
Commissioner Lucian,
Lucian, yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose.
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Ledger.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on under old business, agenda item 10, final plat review for Timothy Grove subdivision, large lot easement containing 5 lots on 41.88 acres located off Drumright Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Giovanna. The subject parcel is approximately 42 acres in size and is located off Drumright Road, approximately 1/3 mile from Wagoner Lane. The applicant is requesting approval of a large lot easement subdivision in order to create 5 lots off a new 50-foot ingress egress utility easement. The site contains natural resources requiring protection, including streams, moderately steep and very steep slopes. Moderately steep slopes are located outside of the building envelope for lots 1 and 2, but within the building envelope for lots 3, 4, and 5. Therefore, those lots are designated as critical lots per the Williamson County zoning ordinance requirements. The site also contains very steep slopes on lots 2, 3, and 4, all of which are located outside of the building envelopes. Approximately 19.3 acres or 46% of the site is under a tree canopy. All zoning ordinance requirements, including those regarding the protection of natural resources, have been met. The applicant is proposing individual septic systems for the lots, and the Williamson County Department of Sewage Disposal Management has approved the request. Water will be provided by on-site wells. No fire hydrants are proposed, and none of the structures are located within 500 feet of the building envelopes. The building envelopes have been separated by 200 feet. The plat is in order, and staff recommends approval subject to the following. Number 1, a notice of coverage issued by TDEC will be required prior to the signing of the plat. Number 2, a land disturbance permit must be obtained for the overall development. And number 3, driveway and drainage infrastructure must be complete, consistent with zoning ordinance requirements prior to the issuance of building permits.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions of staff?
Chairman, my
Comments?
question,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Lucian. So this item and the next item are adjacent subdivisions. Can you help me understand, or staff help me understand, why they're separate submittals?
Staff?
Yeah, this is Lincoln Sweet. The reason they have to be separate submittals is that since they're large lot easement subdivisions, you can only create up to 5 lot easement, and then for each easement is a separate subdivision.
Anything else?
Chairman, this is Don Crohan. I move we accept staff's recommendation on this item 11.
Item 10.
10, I'm sorry.
Mr. Lane, second.
Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike?
Commissioner Cohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lotters,
Others, yes.
Commissioner
Lucian, yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Ledger.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Continuing on our old business, agenda item 11, final plat review for Drumright Hills subdivision, large lot easement containing 5 lots on 28.94 acres located off Drumright Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Giovanna again. The subject parcel is approximately 29 acres in size and is located off Drumright Road, approximately 1/3 mile from Wagoner Lane. The applicant is requesting approval of a large lot easement subdivision in order to create 5 lots off a new 50-foot ingress egress utilities easement. The site contains natural resources requiring protection, including streams, moderately steep and very steep slopes. Moderately steep slopes are located on lots 1 through 5. Some are within the building envelope. Therefore, those are designated as critical lots per the Williamson County zoning ordinance requirements. Very steep slopes are located on lots 2, 4, and 5, all of which are outside of the building envelope. Additionally, 2 CARDS features have been identified on the property and the requisite buffers have been applied. Approximately 27.8 acres of the site is under tree canopy, which is 96%. All zoning ordinance requirements, including those regarding the protection of natural resources, have been met. The applicant is proposing individual septic systems for the lots, and the Williamson County Department of Sewage Disposal Management has approved the request. Water will be provided by on-site wells. Due to a lack of fire hydrants within 500 feet of the building envelopes, the building envelopes have been separated by 200 feet. The plat is in order and staff recommends approval subject to the following. Number 1, a notice of coverage issued by DDEC will be required prior to the signing of the plat. Number 2, a land disturbance permit must be obtained for the overall development. And number 3, driveway and drainage infrastructure must be complete, consistent with zoning ordinance requirements prior to the issuance of building permits.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions of staff? Any questions? Motion?
This is Don Crowhan. I move we accept staff's recommendation.
Lathers, second.
Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike?
Commissioner Cohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lathers,
Lathers, yes.
Commissioner Decision,
Decision, yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Commissioner Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 12, public hearing has been withdrawn. Agenda item 13, preliminary plat. Sharon, I understood you want to withdraw on this one. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'm recusing myself of this agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. 13, item 13, preliminary plat review for St. Marlowe, AKA Duquette property, phase 1, containing 74 lots on 92.2 acres located off Long Lane in the 12th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Aaron Holmes. A concept plan for this development was approved at the October 2020 meeting, and the applicant is now requesting preliminary plat approval of the first phase of the development, which consists of 74 lots, approximately 57 acres of open space, and the wastewater treatment and disposal system. On November 9th, 2020, the property in question was rezoned from the Rural Development 1 zoning district to the Rural Development 5 zoning district. However, as the concept plan for this development was approved in October 2020, which was prior to this change in zoning, the application is being reviewed pursuant to the prior Rural Development 1 standards as required by the zoning ordinance and state vesting statutes. As you may recall, during the discussion at concept plan stage, Planning Commission requested the developer consider relocating the access along Long Lane further east in order to minimize potential conflicts with a driveway opposite the site. The developer has complied with this request and has moved the entrance approximately 75 feet to the east. Additionally, the developer has agreed to install left and right turn lanes on both Long Lane and Goosey Hill Road at the site's entrances. The turn lane improvements on Long Lane have been shown on the preliminary plat and have been incorporated into the conditions of approval. The improvements on Goosey Hill Road will be shown on a future preliminary plat. Preliminary plat is consistent in layout with that depicted on the concept plan, and staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat with the following condition, which shall be addressed in conjunction with final plat consideration. Number 1, prior to final plat submittal for the first section of the development, off-site roadway improvements, including right and left turn lanes at the Long Lane site entrance, as specified in the review letter from the Highway Department engineer, must be completed to the satisfaction of the county highway superintendent. Number 2, prior to final plat submittal for the first section of the subdivision, a zoning certificate must be obtained for the completed wastewater treatment and disposal system. Prior to the issuance of the zoning certificate, the applicant shall provide the following as it relates to the wastewater treatment and disposal system. A A letter from TDEC indicating that the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system was installed and is functioning. B, as-built drawing showing the location of all system components and a sealed certification letter from the design engineer indicating that said system was constructed in accordance with the approved construction plans and specifications. C, a letter from the owner/utility provider indicating that it has accepted said system and is currently operating same. D, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $283,000 for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system as specified by the county's wastewater consultant. E, posting of a performance bond in the amount of $75,700 for landscaping improvements. And F, execution of performance agreements for the above referenced sureties. Number 3, prior to consideration of final plat approval, the applicant shall submit HOA documents for review and approval by the county attorney's office. The HOA documents must be submitted with the final plat, and the approved HOA documents must be recorded concurrently with the recording of the final plat. Number 4, all plant materials reflected on the approved landscaping plan for the reduced open space strip between the proposed lots and the existing rights-of-way of Goosey Hill Road, along with any berms, shall be installed prior to the submittal of the applicable final plat in which the open space strip appears. Number 5, dedication of an additional 15 feet of right-of-way for a distance of 200 feet along both Long Lane and Goosey Hill Road from the intersection of said roads. Number 6, establishment of performance bonds for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number 7, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of Millcrofton Utility District. Number 8, establishment of a performance bond for the wastewater collection system. Number 9, submission of landscaping plans and establishment of a performance bond for landscaping. Number 10, execution of performance agreements for the above referenced sureties. Number 11, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. Number 12, submission of the approved final plat in DWG format on reportable media based on the Tennessee State Plan Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the plat.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? Anyone?
Mr. Chairman, this is Don Crohan. I have a question. The wastewater treatment plant will be, I take it they will have to pipe underneath the waterway to get to the wastewater lot? Is that the plan?
Commissioner Crohan, I will leave that to the applicant who should be on the call with us as well.
Yes, sir. This is Ryan Lovelace with Civil Site Design. The wastewater piping will be within the roadway system. We'll have a roadway that will cross the ditch there to get to our lots, but it's planned to be in the roadway system. Yes, sir.
But it'll be piped under the waterway.
Yeah, it'll pipe underneath the culvert that is part of that roadway, and we will have to get a permit for that as part of our roadway utilities, as well as water, electric, gas. All of them have to do the exact same thing underneath that same creek.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Chairman Lackey, this is Commissioner Lucision. I have a question for staff.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is 74 lots in this first phase with that single entrance. Is there a threshold at which, we require them to have the second entrance off of Goosey Hill? Because it just seems like a lot of homes off of one entrance.
Aaron?
So Commissioner Lucision, that will come at the 99th lot. Floyd, if you will zoom onto the Goosey Hill Road exit for us, please. So Commissioner, when that section comes in, they will have the next entrance onto Goosey Hill Road in place for the second entrance. And by that time, they'll be at 99 lots and it will be required.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Other questions? Comments? Motion?
Sanders moved to approve for staff's recommendations.
Thank you, sir.
McCord, second.
We have a motion and a second. Fair to vote. Mike, call the roll.
Excuse me, Commissioner Cohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher. I'm sorry, she refused. Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lauders,
Lathers, yes.
Commissioner Lucian,
Lucian, yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. That concludes the agenda. Seems like this is the first time we've gotten out in 30 minutes. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, we,
Yeah, I was going to say, Chairman, like we do have those two simple non-agenda items to deal with before
I'm
we.
sorry. And I put that down. And they were what? Reiterate, Mike, please.
Yes, so those are, item 14 will be the Vonterra subdivision. And item 15 will be, Aaron, help me,
Fairhaven.
Fairhaven subdivision.
Explain what these are, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. I'll read the report that Floyd has up on the screen, beginning with the title of it. This is concept plan review for Bonterra subdivision containing 38 lots on 97.64 acres located off Meeks Road in the 5th voting district. At the January 2021 meeting, this development and the Fairhaven development located on Bethesda Road were approved. The required bonds for the landscaping improvements for the wastewater systems for the two projects were inadvertently transposed on the staff report. This will correct the reference landscaping bond amount. All conditions outlined in the January 2021 staff report will remain the same, with the exception of the condition relating to the performance bond for the landscaping improvements for the wastewater system, which shall be corrected as follows. Posting of a performance bond in the amount of $77,500 for landscaping improvements.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? Motion?
Don Crohan, move to accept staff's recommendation.
Sanders, second.
Motion and a second. Fair to vote. Mike, call a roll.
Commissioner Cohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lauders,
Lathers, yes.
Commissioner Lucian,
Lucian, no.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. And item 15, staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is concept plan review for Fairhaven subdivision containing 49 lots on 55.4 acres located off Bethesda Road in the 2nd voting district. At the January 2021 meeting, this development and the Bonterra development located on Meeks Road were approved. The required bonds for the landscaping improvements for the wastewater systems for the two projects were inadvertently transposed on the staff report. This will correct the reference landscaping bond amount. All conditions outlined in the January 2021 staff report will remain the same, with the exception of the condition relating to the performance bond for the landscaping improvements for the wastewater system, which shall be corrected as follows. The posting of a performance bond in the amount of $42,800 for landscaping improvements.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? Motion?
Move to approve staff's recommendation, Ms. Sanders.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Hatcher, second.
Thank you, ma'am. Prepared to vote. Mike?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Cohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lauders,
Lathers, yes.
Commissioner Lucian,
Lucian, no.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Now I think we're done and can go home. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're out of here. Thank you.